everyone, welcome back to another Monday and a fresh start to the week. And you know what that means? It means it's time for another edition of the Terrible Movie Collab series. So guys, I'm Mike and today I'm joined by the absolute living legend, Anthony A. Perez.
What's going on, Mike and all his viewers? Thank you, my friend, once again for having me here in another video to talk about Meet the Spartans this time. A film that I had not seen since it originally came out, back during that craze where there was a bunch of movies that very much followed the formula of a scary movie back when that was really successful. So yeah, it had been quite some time since I sat down to watch this movie, and yeah, why? Why is this movie even a thing? Why were these movies even a thing? I won't pretend that I wasn't a part of the scary movie craze when it was first happening, specifically the first 2 or 3, but then it started to get crazy with things like the superhero movie, this one, or the disaster movie, or the epic movie. There was just something movie or something that kind of had some sort of joke based on another movie that was popular at the time.
We have two of probably the worst directors in Hollywood's history, of Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer. If I've even got their names right, I really do not care, because these guys made some absolute stinkers like date movie, disaster movie, epic movie. They directed, and it was at that time in Hollywood where everyone was on this kind of spoof movie train, and it's kind of, I guess, the trend at the time and what was big. And these guys, I will say this for them, they literally capitalized on all those movies and made a shit ton of money at the box office, which, to be honest, a lot of these movies did, and that's probably why they kept making them pretty much every year. I will say this with Anthony, he did touch on Scary Movie very quickly. Scary Movie 1 and 2. Fantastic. Maybe they're not the best of movies, but if you were to rate kind of like spoof movies, they're probably going to be on high list, and them two have definitely got more rewatchabilities. So this movie, Meet the Spartans, is essentially around King Leonidas essentially taking some warriors to take out a fat Xerxes prince. That is literally the summary of this movie, and yeah, it is an absolute stinker. It was actually made in a production time of 1 week. They shot the entire film around this time as well. This probably benefited one actress alone, which was Carmen Electra. So Carmen Electra back in the day was a huge actress, and definitely these movies probably made her more of a big name, or at least trying to get herself out there more. And definitely a couple of these movies she stars in as the main actress, and of course they've got her like taking her top off and stuff like that, of course, to expose what she kind of mainly known for. So Anthony, any positives, man, about this movie?
Yeah, this is a horrible movie. There's really nothing to latch on to or even laugh at while watching this movie. These movies have not aged well at all. There's no real story. If you've seen 300, it is that story, but the whole thing is just sketch after sketch after sketch after sketch after sketch. And I think that there was a silly charm to it when it came to the first Scary Movie, but you know, this far into the whole thing, it's definitely terrible. And going back and revisiting it today in 2021, it's a terrible movie. You know, there's nothing to really laugh at while you watch these movies. There are a bunch of dated references and jokes that are not going to work for people unless they were around during those times or like knew what was going on, or they're at least well versed in pop culture. There's overall, watching this movie in and of itself, it's terrible. The jokes don't land anymore. They didn't even really work back then.
Whoa, 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 let me stop you right there. There is one positive of this movie that I actually managed to pick out. So at one point in this movie, King Leonidas is actually getting assessed by American Idol panel like Simon Cowell. Now, the one positive I've actually got, I can give Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer, whatever, is essentially they have this kind of like pit of doom. And I don't know if it actually happens in the real 300 movie, because I've actually never seen it. I'm assuming it must have at some point. The terrible acts and the terrible acting, King Leonidas kicks them in to the pit of doom, and these characters get killed off, and I was like, hell yeah, finally the movie did something positive. Let me hand it back over to the awesome Perez. And Perez, have you got any kind of last thoughts to share on this absolute disaster of a movie?
Of course, it's tough to really critique this movie because, you know, we predominantly are critiquing films on a real level. And when you watch this, the movie's just so ridiculous. It's so raunchy. It's so stupid. No one that was a part of making these movies ever was trying to go for an Oscar film, right? Like, they knew they were in really bad, stupid films, and that's where the humor came from it. But just with how far we've come when it comes to comedy and what kind of an audience today expects from comedy, going back and revisiting this, yeah, without a doubt, very, very weak movie, very, very weak storytelling, and very, very weak comedy. That's what this is all about. It's supposed to be a sketch comedy movie, and it's just not funny. These jokes don't land anymore. Even me, who knows all the references and what they're actually, you know, referring to and throughout the movie, there's nothing to laugh at the movie because of the delivery, the way they go about it. And it's just so stupid that it eventually just is like, all right, I'm 30, 40 minutes into this and I'm just bored.
My man pretty much summed up this movie to a T. Absolutely awful. The acting, atrocious, one of the worst you're ever gonna see. And I thought Battle of Los Angeles was bad. This certainly takes that to another level, or on par. The script of this kind of doesn't really exist. The laughs and the slapstick is like at the door, and it didn't even enter through the door into the stage of this one-week production. It just stayed there. And yeah, this movie is abysmal. It's currently got a 2.8 or 2.9 rating on IMDb. It definitely isn't getting that, because my score for the movie is...
Thank you so much for having me here in this video, man, to talk about a terrible movie. I appreciate you having me on for your terrible movie series. I hope you're having fun watching these terrible movies. I hope that this movie was something for you, man, because this is a terrible, terrible movie. So thank you so much again to the Z Review for having me here in a video. Once again, I genuinely appreciate it, and I'll pass it back to you, my friend. Thank you.
So Perez, my man, thank you so much for collabing with me on this collab and joining me on the awesome terrible movie collab series review that I've got so far. Guys, make sure you subscribe to Anthony A. Perez. Now, this guy has so many awesome content. He's got great movie reviews, TV reviews. He's got a lot in the pipework that is going to blow your mind. And you're going to want to stick around onto his channel. He always has great collabs on there. He's even had me on a couple of them. So go check them all out. The link to his channel is below, and go give him some love. Tell him that the Z Review sent you. If you guys are enjoying the series, please leave a comment below. I've got plenty more to come, and I've actually got a couple of solo terrible movies to review as well. But in the meantime, please give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. But until the next time you see me, guys, this has been the Z Review, and I'll be seeing you later.